Think like a melon. I'm getting into the mental mindset. MBDTF is a 6 out of 10 album. Hi everybody, Brostheny Skitano here, the internet's busiest Street Fighter nerd, and today we are once again doing an episode of Let's Argue. You guys hit me with your hot takes, and I review them to see if you're cooking or not. Also, please hit subscribe and let's get on with the video. You guys seen this? Alright, so Calibri says, these things give you negative aura. The box. These have been a big topic lately, the hiding your inputs boxes. I saw Knuckledoo was asking recently if anyone had any of these for like pad players. They look stupid, that's for sure. It is clap minus some aura points, but at the same time, look at the man who is using it. Okay, this is Xiaohai. Xiaohai just won hundreds of thousands of dollars playing Street Fighter. And you see what's under this box? That is a gold arcade stick that he got from one of his many Evo wins. So like, in the case of Xiaohai specifically, it's like 10,000 aura points minus the 2 for the box. He's still in the positive aura count, you know? But the thing is, I think whether or not these are cringe or not depends on what controller type you're using. So I understand why stick players use these things, because the thing about stick is that when you do something like a wake-up DP, it requires a big arm movement. Like, out of your peripheral vision, I can see and even hear sometimes if my opponent is mashing DP next to me on a side-by-side setup. So I understand why stick players do this, but can I be completely honest? If you use one of these boxes for levelless or pad, you are a lunatic. I cannot imagine any scenario where your opponent is so aware of your thumb movements that they can read your DP out of the corner of their eye on like a PlayStation controller. I think you get a free pass if you're playing on arcade stick, but not if you're on pad or levelless. Rashid is the most overhyped top tier character and has fallen off since his release. Meet potential, man. 007. 0 major tournament wins, 0 relevance, 7 really stubby normals. Used my curse technique to its fullest. Wow, they didn't even change it from the original Jujutsu Kaisen. That's lazy. If you're gonna do downplaying, you have to actually put in the effort. Unbelievable. No, I don't agree with this at all. I think Rashid has consistently been very, very strong in every version of this game. And I do think there is a tendency to overfocus on Rashid's level 2. Rashid's level 2, don't get me wrong, it is an incredibly strong super. But Rashid players like to act like outside of the level 2, he's not that good. And he has so many good things. Like, can I just say, one of the most powerful things Rashid has is this. I'm remembering how to play Rashid right now. Yeah, this setup is absolutely evil. This is one of the best, like, Oki situations in the entire game. So anytime you end, like, a corner combo with Rashid, and you go into the, air dash Oki, this thing... This Oki is so goddamn good, because if you do the heavy kick, this is a safe jump. And safe jumps in this game are extremely powerful. And having a low risk Oki option to begin with is also good. But you can also empty low very quickly. At any point, you can just switch into the low. And you can also empty throw. He gets like some of the best RPS in the game off most common combo enders. And if you get hit by any of this stuff, like if you guess wrong on like the high-low throw, you're just straight back into the exact same mix-up again. It's like one of the best looping Oki situations in the game. So it's not just level 2. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it, Rashid players. And also stubby normals. Are we serious right now? Modern controls would be a better long-term control scheme if they deleted auto combos entirely and replaced them with a button for alt normals, allowing access to all punches and kicks while maintaining the newcomer's simplicity of just light, medium, and heavy. I strongly disagree with this take. Very strongly, in fact. Now, the thing about modern is there are 2 entirely separate discussions about modern, and one of them I am not qualified to talk about. So, modern as an accessibility feature is a complicated topic that I don't really have enough information to talk about. So I'm going to not talk about modern as an accessibility feature, and I'm going to talk entirely about modern as an onboarding system for new players. And if I'm just looking at the modern as a way to get beginners playing this game perspective, This makes no sense. Here's the thing. If it's getting to the point that to unlock all of a character's normals, we have to have like a modifier button that changes the outcome of certain buttons to create certain other buttons, how is that simpler than just pressing the right button, you know? If I'm talking to someone who's brand new to Street Fighter and they say like, how do I perform a crouching medium punch? In Classic, I would say you crouch, you press down, and then you press medium punch. But like in Modern, I would have to be like, okay, so what you want to do is you want to initially start out with the alternate normal modifier button. Then you want to press medium, which will change your normal from like a standing medium into a crouching medium. However, the crouching medium you get might be different from character to character, so it might be a crouching medium kick or a crouching medium punch. Depends what Capcom decided arbitrarily. Like, Street Fighter is fundamentally a 6-button game, and by turning it into a 3-button game with modifiers, is that simpler? I don't know, I feel like you've created a workaround that's ultimately more complicated than just pressing the right buttons. So I disagree with this. To be honest, this is what Capcom is already doing, actually. So if you guys don't know, over the last couple of seasons of this game, Capcom has been changing the auto combo button to act as a modifier to unlock certain missing command normals. That is actually what they are doing right now. I did a recent content segment playing Modern Chun-Li, and trying to get to grips with the auto button as a modifier to get certain normals to come out was so annoying and so unintuitive. So yeah, I don't agree with this at all. But like I said, that strictly is focused on new player onboarding, as I can't speak to the accessibility side of things. It's not my area of expertise. Surprisingly, this isn't even really a take. This is just, well, I guess this is a take. It's not very detailed. Big Bird just straight out says, the current state of the game is ass. And I guess quite a lot of people agree with him. I mean, he doesn't give any details, so I can't go into exactly why he thinks the current state of the game is ass. I'm assuming he's talking about the competitive aspect of this game. For me, I think Street Fighter 6 in its current form is in a very weird spot, and it can be very frustrating to play competitively as it is right now. And the reason that I actually think it's weird, so Street Fighter 6 is arguably more balanced now than it was on day one. My current complaint about this game's meta is that we have now created this bizarre dichotomy where some characters are still playing an extremely obnoxious rushdown game plan with very little counterplay, and some characters have been very carefully designed with like limitations on their power level. Characters like Sagat and Elena, I think, are really well designed, and I would love it if they were the template for everything going forward. But I actually think it's more frustrating right now to play a game where there's like 2 different games at the same time. You've got like Mai and Bison just throwing themselves at you and then throw looping you to death in the corner. And then you've got like Elena and Sagat, who are pretty honest characters with good, well-defined strengths and weaknesses. And the disconnect between those two design philosophies, I find really annoying. I don't think it's ass. That's maybe a little bit hyperbolic, but I understand the frustration. I think this is more a statement of frustration rather than outright saying that he doesn't like the game. Blanka is a top 5 character that people don't say as such due to him being hard to play. Now, I don't agree with this post, but I have been fascinated by Blanka lately. Especially Mena. Mena continuing to, like, be so goddamn good with this character and defy all expectations of, like, what people expect Blanka to be capable of. It's so fascinating to me that I am planning on doing a week of Blanka. I'm going to learn this character at some point in the near future, so hold this space. I'm going to investigate if Blanka is truly a secret top 5 character in the near future. Sassy Riolu says, SF6 YouTube content feels stale, and that in turn represents the state of the game. There is so little content about having fun with fun edits like you'd see in old EXE videos. DBFZ and Guilty Gear have these kinds of videos, but not SF6. Reflects how limiting the game mechanics are. Good thing that I'm making, you know, high effort content, like reacting to tweets. Look, here's the thing. I agree, in general, a lot of Street Fighter 6 YouTube content is very narrow in the range of things that it will cover. Here is what you will see if you look at their channel. Ranked highlights, ranked highlights, ranked highlights, tier list, ranked highlights, ranked highlights, tier list. Weeks and months on end. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal here. I think some of my videos have been a little bit lazy. This one, for example. One thing I will disagree with is that you are only focusing on English-speaking content creators. And this is something that doesn't get brought up very much. There is so much good content being made right now for Street Fighter 6, especially in Japan. So many of the pro-Japanese players, all your favorite players that are in Street Fighter League right now, pretty much all of them have YouTube channels, and they are making so much unique and original content. For example, if I go on to Itazan's channel or Hikaru's channel, I can watch them do like a vlog of their trip to EWC or something, like a recent event. Or if I go to Takido's channel, I mean, Takido's channel especially is insanely good. I watched Takido visit a university to discuss like controller theory with like a professional engineer and talking about the various like mechanical ways that you can make new kinds of controllers. And like there's so many things that aren't being explored in like English speaking content creation. There was a great video Takido did where he invited a bunch of pro players onto his stream, and then he had them all try and execute supers as fast as possible to see who has the fastest execution of all of the pros. Did a little like contest about it. All of these things are really fun, positive, and interesting content that just doesn't really exist in the West, as far as I can tell. Boltstrike says, I don't think we will see a single new core mechanic addition to the game in its lifetime, which makes me sad. Now, this is a thing that I've been thinking about recently, because especially across Street Fighter 4 and 5, as well as getting character rebalances, we would also get like new mechanics, new ways to play the game that added more depth. So like Street Fighter 4 added, you know, second ultras to pick from. It added red focus, new mechanics. And Street Fighter 5 added tons of new stuff. It added V-Trigger 2, V-Skill 2, V-Shift. The game evolved a lot mechanically over the course of its life. Street Fighter 6, the only real change we've had so far mechanically is being able to drive reversal on Wake Up. You get one more way of watching your Wake Up drive reversal get blocked by a meaty jab and then die because -6 in this game is death. I mean, it's not great. The thing about Street Fighter 6 is this game is so tied together by its mechanics. Like, everything is so interlocked. The way parry is designed can't really be changed because it would ruin the combos from Drive Rush. The way Drive Rush is designed can't really be changed because of its use as a neutral tool. Drive Rush, like, everything is so delicately linked together, all of the mechanics, but it's so hard to introduce more stuff without breaking everything else. I do think there is a very real chance that we either get no new mechanics or just very minor changes, like in the similar vein to Wake Up drive reversal, just like a couple of new ways to use the existing tools rather than brand new tools. And it's a little bit sad. I like looking forward to new stuff, you know? I like having new toys to play with. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Street Fighter or fighting games in general should let us use emotes, those balloons above the character's head, in the middle of the match. Communicating is important, and tilting the opponent while doing this is even more. I feel like the problem with stuff like emotes is they're only ever going to be used as a taunt, ultimately. You're just adding new ways to taunt to the game. Street Fighter 6 is already tilting enough as it is. Like, not crashing out while you're playing this game is already hard enough. I don't know if we need more ways of raising your blood pressure while playing this game. I think I would genuinely like hurl my controller if a Akuma player demon flips at me, bypasses my anti-air, and then does some kind of like nice anti-air emote. I think that would genuinely break me. The newcomers are all incredible in visual design, but every vanilla roster newcomer was a gameplay failure. Dry, lacked originality, or niche in gameplay. They aren't likely to return without major adjustments. DLC newcomers are even worse for this? Aki? You think Aki is a gameplay failure? I'm gonna stand outside your house. DLC newcomers plural? I just realized there's no other DLC newcomer besides Aki. Isn't she the only one? I mean, I guess it depends if you count Terry and Mai, but I feel like you tried to stray Aki there and hope that I wouldn't know. Let me think about this. No, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. JP is my counter argument to this. I think JP is a really cool character. Do I have my problems with JP's gameplay? Yes. Do I think JP is one of the coolest newcomers in any recent Street Fighter game? Absolutely. I think JP is so cool. Jamie as well, yeah. He's not exactly a strong character, but I think Jamie's got a ton of flair. I do think there are a few whiffs in the launch roster, particularly Lily, who I feel... The thing about Lily is, I don't understand why she exists, ultimately. She doesn't feel like she has any purpose in the game, narratively or gameplay-wise. If you did a survey of Street Fighter players and say, for Street Fighter 7, would you rather have Lily or T-Hawk? I think like 90% would say T-Hawk. Top 3 hip-hop/rap albums. That's a classic Street Fighter question that I get asked all the time. Nas, Illmatic, To Pimp a Butterfly, Orpheus versus the Sirens. My stupid, no like, removed from game? Me agree. Me agree. Why use many words when few word do trick? So the game would hugely benefit from a cinematic single-player campaign a la Shadow Falls from Street Fighter V. The IP is sick, everyone has been waiting for decades for the plot to move on, and World Tour just ain't it. I don't want to see John Streets, I want Ryu and Ken sparring on top of waterfalls. Alright, hold up buddy, I was on board right up until the point where you insulted my boy John Streets. John Streets has been through so much. He may be the most persecuted man alive. He only exists to get his ass fucking kicked so that every DLC character can aura farm off his losses, okay? John Streets is the hardest working man in this community, and I will not hear a word said against him. First of all, what kind of idiot builds a training simulation that is conscious enough to actively destroy the means of turning it off? But look at this shit. My boy, he tanks a head crush. We've all been there. This is you. This is me. This is us. We are the proletariat down here on the floor getting oppressed by M. Bison. You should be relating to this man. Okay? And still, look, he's still holding on to Bison's leg just long enough.
Nice work.
That Sea Viper can come in and steal the win. My boy, John Street Fighter, aka John World Tour, aka John Streets, was the only reason these gormless idiots at SIN were able to bring down the hologram that they made. I do think it would be cool if at some point in the future, maybe as like the final DLC character, they let him be like a Seth equivalent, where he has like a kit that's made out of every other character's moves. I like this guy. I love John Streets. I think we'll do one more. This next one's going to be the last one. Let's end with a good one. Never thought I'd see the day, folks. It finally happened. I used to joke about this like 5 years ago. I used to say, like, do you think people are going to start having nostalgia for V-Trigger? Nah, there's no way. He's spitting, though. V-Trigger is a bad mechanic, but it was fun. I think you can, those two things can exist simultaneously. I mean, look, I'm an Oro player, okay? My entire character was viable because of how broken his V-Trigger was. I understand that V-Trigger was a fun mechanic, especially to rob people with. Activate those stones, you better guess for game, buddy. I do agree that the V-Trigger definitely was fun, but at the same time, comeback mechanics suck. As a base principle, I'm not fond of comeback mechanics, especially ones as powerful as V-Trigger. And the biggest crime I think V-Trigger committed is the way that so many moves, which were just part of like a character's base kit in previous games, ended up being locked behind V-Trigger. That was the real sin of V-Trigger. So many cool characters had half of their kit locked behind losing health, you know? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to revisit this video 8 years from now when we're all complaining about how Street Fighter 7 ruined fundamentals. And I wonder if we'll see people being like, You guys remember when Drive Rush was the superior mechanic? I miss Drive Rush. You guys nostalgic for Drive Rush? Now that was a good mechanic. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I will see you guys all in the next video.